We're learning more about last Friday's officer-involved shooting in Robbinsdale that resulted in the death of a 47-year-old man. The sister of that man tells the Star Tribune that her brother, quote, kind of snapped and believed he wanted officers to end his life because of serious charges hanging over his head. Authorities on Monday identified the man shot by police as 47-year-old Brian Andren of Ramsey. According to the initial investigation, Andren charged at Robbinsdale police with a knife. Officers at first tried using a taser before Robbinsdale Police Sergeant Brian Sloat, a 17-year veteran of the department, fired his weapon. The incident happened after a brief police chase when officers spotted Andren's vehicle and learned he had an active warrant out for his arrest. According to court records in South Dakota, Andren was charged in 2018 with child abuse, child pornography, and furnishing alcohol to a minor. The warrant was issued after he failed to appear for a court hearing. Meanwhile, in Brooklyn Park, police are investigating a shooting that sent a man to the hospital. It happened at about 8 o'clock Monday night in the 5900 block of 65th Avenue North. Police happened to be conducting patrols when they heard the sound of gunshots. Despite an extensive search, no arrests had been made as we went to air on Tuesday. Police say the man who was shot is expected to survive his injuries. They also believe the victim knew the person or persons who committed the crime. The first week of training for Brooklyn Park firefighter cadets was a rigorous one. It's all part of the city's switch to a full-time department. Reporter Pafu Yang takes us inside the fire department's first ever cadet academy.
At Brooklyn Park Fire Department, there's a saying, you don't stop when you're tired, you stop when you're done. And it's clear, Jonathan Roberts is tired.
It's a lot tougher than what I thought it was going to be. The physicality of it is way more than what I expected.
Good job, guys. A few steps away in physical training, Alec Wayne is pushing himself beyond his limit.
Our day from 7:30 until 4 is packed completely, with the exception of a 30-minute lunch break.
Wayne, Roberts, and 6 others were selected from a pool of 380 applicants to join the Brooklyn Park Firefighters' first ever cadet program.
We realized that we wanted to hire people for their character and who they are as individuals. We can train them to be emergency medical responders and firefighters.
Cadets are full-time paid employees. By the end of the nearly 4-month academy, cadets must obtain the required fire and medical licenses to be a firefighter.
Outside of the Minneapolis and St. Paul departments, there are really no full-time fire academies that are structured like what we have here.
We got a lot to learn. We're starting with EMS. We're going to be going through it in about 5 weeks. So our noses are going to be in the books.
But in the process of serving the diverse community, cadets also hope to inspire them.
I want to be the reason why people that look like me, they're going to try and pursue a career in law enforcement or fire or any type of first responder.
In Brooklyn Park, Pafu Yang, CCX News.
Restaurants returned to in-person dining this week, at least at 50% capacity. And for some, it couldn't come soon enough. Local restaurants have had to get creative to get business. In today's Takeout Tuesday, for one Robbinsdale restaurant, that meant resorting to some pedal power. Costa Rica is roughly 3,500 miles away from the Twin Cities. But for a taste of the Central American country's cuisine, look no further than Robbinsdale.
We're actually the only Costa Rican restaurant in Minnesota that offers authentic Costa Rican food. And this is right in Bear Town too, so nice little gem.
Rolando Diaz and his wife Nicole opened Marna's in 2015. It started as a catering kitchen, evolved into a small cafe, and became a full-blown bar and restaurant after they expanded into the neighboring space in September of 2019.
So we got about 6 months until we had to close, and then open, and then close.
Navigating through a pandemic is certainly not something he had in mind. But in this age where restaurants need to offer takeout to survive,
whatever you got to do, right?
Diaz came up with an innovative way to get food to his Robbinsdale customers.
I said, well, what if to pick up a little bit more of the to-go and the curbside to offer delivery? At first was just to do delivery, by car. And then I was like, what if we do it in a bike?
And that's how he formed the Bike Squad.
Yes.
You see, Diaz is an avid cycler. So every Thursday for the past month, he and some of his cycling friends get together for the sole purpose of hopping on their bikes and delivering orders to anyone who lives within a 3-mile radius of Marna's at no additional cost.
Hospitality restaurant's been a tough place to make a living the last year, and so anything that we can do to help out, we certainly want to do whatever we can.
Scott Boland is one of the Bike Squad members, all of whom are compensated for their efforts with food and a cold glass of beer.
There are worse ways to spend a Thursday night, that's for sure.
Many of their deliveries require navigating Robbinsdale's roads through the cover of darkness and less than ideal conditions. But this crew has all the right gear to ride their bikes year-round and ensure that drivers can see them. And in the end,
hi guys.
Delivery from Marna's?
Yeah.
someone gets their food in a rather unique way for a Minnesota winter,
You're welcome.
while the Bike Squad members get to do something they're passionate about.
I had great support from all my friends. They obviously do it for fun. They're going to ride anyways, and then why not do it, helping a friend too, to bring more business in.
In Robbinsdale, Delane Cleveland, CCX News.
Games get started later this week in high school boys basketball. As Jay Wilcox reports, Cooper is expecting good things this winter.
With a promising season ahead, the Cooper boys basketball players and coaches are just glad to be back together.
It feels good to be back in the gym, getting work in with the guys and just trying to get better every day and prepare for the season.
I'm most excited for the kids, because they've been stuck in the house, for quite a while. So it's just, being able to get them back out here, get us all back on the court and try to get this thing jumped off is very exciting.
The Hawks have 4 starters back from a 19-win team that gave Hopkins a great battle in the Section 6 4A championship before falling. You also have some new talent coming in.
I'm really excited. We got a couple new players on the team that brought new stuff to the team that we wasn't doing last year. So I'm excited to see what they're going to do this season.
I feel very good about our chances of going to state and actually trying to get a title this year. And yeah, we're just trying to get better every day.
The biggest place is they have experience now, where a few years ago we didn't have a whole lot of experience. But they have experience playing in big games against good teams. They have experience with, fighting through some adversity and coming together.
Point guard Broderick Powell Jr. is coming back off a football injury but was cleared for practice this week. Davion Evans, Tyson Dallas, and Jeffrey Cooper also return as talented starters. It'll be mostly Metro West Conference games this winter for the Hawks.
I think we have maybe 4 non-conference games where normally we'll have almost 12. So it's a little bit different. The season's gonna go fast, but I think it's for me it's about the kids getting an opportunity to play, and whatever that means, we'll go with it. But it's better than having 0 games. So.
Well, it's up in the air if there will be a state tournament, and if so, what it will look like during COVID-19. Cooper is hoping to be in the hunt. Jay Wilcox, CCX Sports.
The Maple Grove boys basketball team should be strong again this season. The Crimson has 2 starters back from last year's section championship winning squad, and this year's team is big and versatile. Jason Malillo has more.
Following Maple Grove's victory in the Section 8 4A title game last March, the season was shut down due to COVID-19.
It was heartbreaking. A lot of tears from those guys. They wanted that bad. They worked real hard to get there.
Returning Crimson players feel for last year's seniors who missed out on the state tournament and know they're lucky to be back this season.
We want to prove ourselves that we can get there again. Even with the seniors from last year that have left, we want them to know that we can do it for them, and hopefully we can get to the state championship again and kick some butt.
Senior Caden Betcher and junior John Hawkinson are returning starters. Last season, Grove was deep with good long-range shooters, and they'll still have guys this season that will hit threes. But this is also a group that can play big and bang down low.
We're a bigger team, more athletic. We can get inside a little more, and we can also shoot. And then for us guys that played varsity before, we just got to let our younger guys know that are coming in how to adjust to it and get ready for the speed.
We're definitely going to have an emphasis on touching the paint a little bit more with the drive and the pass, and making sure we get our big, long, athletic guys opportunity closer to the basket more. Last year we relied a lot on the three-point shot, which is great. I love the three. We're still going to shoot it, but we're going to get a lot more paint touches this year, I think.
Like all teams around Minnesota, the Crimson is adjusting to playing with masks on and following COVID protocols. They admit it's a struggle, but worth it if the reward is getting to play hoops with your friends. Jason Malillo, CCX Sports.
The Crimson opens at Totino Grace on Thursday, followed by games against Osseo, Champlin Park, and Park Center. That's all for sports. I'm John Jacobson. Find more prep sports games and highlights at ccxmedia.org and follow us on social media.